Okay. Well, first off, it's always nice to be in Bay County. Unfortunately, to see this damage, you feel sorry for people, especially 5 years ago, we had Michael, and some of the places we saw this morning that seems like the exact same places got hit. So you feel sorry for that. We got to tour some of this area. The sheriff took us around. I know people in Bayou, Georgia are hurting. So I think everybody will tell you the same thing. We're all up here to help. So if there's anything we can do to help you, let us know. I've got 9 offices in the state, and everybody up here, we all work together. It's a team to help you. But if you need anything, just let us know. But my heart goes out to everybody that had any damage. I'm glad that no one lost their life. It's hard to believe that no one did when you look at some of the like the apartment complexes and things like that. So, but we'll do everything we can to be helpful. I know, Sheriff or Jimmy, you guys want?
Go ahead, Sheriff.
Hey, good morning. I want to thank Senator Scott for being here with us today. Senator, you've always been here when we needed you, and we appreciate that. So proud of this community, most resilient community in the country. We've been through a lot, but we always bounce back stronger, and this is no different. A lot of progress has been made over the past few days. County Road and Bridges have done an amazing job getting the streets cleaned. Florida Power and Light out there getting power back up. I think we're very close to full restoration on that, and our law enforcement and emergency management and fire out there keeping people safe. But we're going to get through this just like we have everything else, and come back stronger. And Senator, just thank you so much for being here today.
Good morning. I'm Jimmy Petronas. I wanted to just thank Senator Scott for coming here. It seems like he's an honorary citizen of Bay County. Whenever disaster strikes, within a moment's notice, he's here. He's holding our hand. He's helping us through the recovery process. He's always advocating for helping people get back on their feet. But he's been just an incredible force for good in the state of Florida ever since he's entered into public office. Senator Tommy Ford and Sheriff Edenfield, they saved lives. There was no fatalities from these tornadoes, and if it wasn't for the swift action of them and the other first responders, I'm convinced we'd have had loss of life. But the folks of Bay County and the folks of Jackson County, those all that were hurting, we're in a much better place because of y'all's leadership. But very fortunate. I'll let folks know, 1-877 my FLCFO, that's the state's emergency help hotline. If you got an insurance claim, if you got any questions, please call that number, 1-877 my FLCFO. We have had our consumer service folks out in the field. We've had our DIFS officers out in the field. Unfortunately, when disasters like this happen, there's a lot of bad actors that come into place. You're in a vulnerable place. You're trying to put your life back together. And it's unfortunate in life that you have people that want to seize that opportunity to take what you're entitled to. So you don't want to let anybody get in between you and your insurance claim. So your first call should be to my office, your insurance agent, or your insurance carrier. You can always go and solicit other avenues of help if you feel like you need to get additional help. But please do not sign anything. Understand that when you make a transaction at the doorstep of your house and you pay for it in cash, you might as well be setting it on fire. There is no way we're going to be able to ensure you're going to get reimbursed when you make personal transactions without keeping your insurance carrier agent in the loop when it comes to that claims process. We're going to lean forward. I've called and talked to all the carriers. I've told them this is your opportunity to shine. Lean forward. Make sure the people of Northwest Florida are being made whole as quickly as possible. I can't believe how responsive the county commissions have been. Amazing, leaning forward. Steelfield landfill is open. I know Claire and Doug will touch more on that on the particulars of what the county's got as services. But understand when it comes to your insurance claim, whether it be your car or your home, please, any questions, call 1-877 my FLCFO. Thank y'all. Thank you, Senator.
Would like to also thank Senator Scott. He has always been an advocate for Bay County, going back as far as his days as governor. We sure appreciate his leadership and his support here. The state is fully engaged in trying to help this recovery effort. This team behind you has been through this before. It's a shame that the CFO has to come out and give little tips on how to deal with insurance, but the fact is we learned a lot after Hurricane Michael. a lot of good and a lot of bad. But what we did know was how to recover, and we'll do that with expediency. You have great people out on those streets trying to clean up, get the power restored, and get people back to what they call some bit of normalcy. So once again, thank you to Senator Scott, CFO Petronas, Sheriff Ford, the County Commission, and like I said, the state is willing to step in at any level with DEM to help out as we can. So thank y'all again.
I'm Claire Pease, County Commissioner, District 5 for the beach. I want to also thank Senator Scott. Every time we have a problem, he is here immediately. We have had extremely, just unbelievable leadership from Tommy Ford. Couldn't possibly have gotten through it without him. I am personally on the ground in the neighborhoods, so if you have a problem, please feel free to call me. I'm easy to find, and we're here to help you. Thank you so much.
And last, Doug Moore, District 4 up in Bayou George in the west end of the beach. But again, thank you to Senator Scott. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Griff, for your support at the state level. From some housekeeping items, the Community Resource Center will be open at Highland Park Baptist Church at their college house on Sarasota Avenue starting Monday through Wednesday. I know we've got tarps still out up at the Bayou George Fire Station, as well as we're still on Thomas Drive. We've got different sizes of tarps, so if you need, you need to provide proof of residency in the area. There are up to 4 tarps that should be available for you as supplies last. Also, we'll be out and about in Bayou George this weekend and stopping by just if there's anything we can do. We've been talking with Senator Scott as well as with the state, and I know Congressman Dunn's office as well about individual assistance. As more details come available, we'll let you know what's going to be available for y'all on the individual assistance. But please make sure to visit the Community Resource Center that's going to be at Highland Park Baptist Church between next Monday and Wednesday during normal business hours, and they'll be able to assist you there. So again, thank you.
Tell them about debris pickup.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, debris pickup, push everything to the corner. We're going to be coming, the county's going to be coming in those affected areas and picking up. If you live on a private road behind a gate, we're not going to be picking up there, but we will pick up private open roads as well as public roads. If you are hauling your own debris, be able to provide proof of residency, your driver's license, and there'll be no tipping fee at Steelfield as well. So thank y'all and best of luck.
You know, if you live in Bray County, you're blessed. It's horrible that this happened, but you've great Sheriff's Department, local law enforcement. They show up. They're going to do everything they can. You know, your CFO, your state CFO, comes from Bay County, and he's been through. I mean, he's experienced. He's been through this. So I hope you listen to him with regard to insurance claims. And then you've got a great county commission. So if you look, and everybody works together well here. You've got a beautiful county. So any of us can answer any questions anybody has.
Senator Scott, for you, when you were riding around with everyone just a little bit ago, what was going through your mind when you saw with your own 2 eyes the damage left behind here?
Well, the first thing you think about is Michael. I mean, you come to this area of the state and you remember Michael. Some of the damage right along the water seemed like it's exactly the same places that Michael hit. It was not as widespread as Michael, but some of the damage, it seemed like is actually even a little, like those apartments was worse. But, I tell you, again, you're blessed because you have experienced people here, and you have your first responders, your sheriff's department, your police department, they're out there immediately. I mean, this area works well together.
You just said it yourself, Bay County's been through this before. Bay County has had natural disasters come through it recently. What did you see, the resilience of the people, the residents back then, and what do you expect this time around as well?
Well, just look at your community. I mean, people work their butts off to take care, fix this up after Michael. Every time I get up here, you can just see there, more and more, and what they build is really nice. I had when I was governor, I had 4 hurricanes, and it seems like it takes about 5 years, and then for the redevelopment and things like that to happen. But what really happens is people help each other. It's resilient, and so in this area for sure, people really work well together.
Obviously, a lot of people are left with nothing right now.
Yeah.
How and why can they depend on the state to get them back on their feet?
Well, the first thing is this area, the churches, they do a lot. You saw it after Michael. You know, and just friends do things for other people. You heard stories about in the apartment complexes, somebody got out and they're immediately helping their neighbor, right? So that's the first thing that happens. The state has a program working with the federal government and working with the counties to do things. There's standards you have to meet on the federal assistant, but I know the state's going to work hard. But the county, you heard the county's not waiting for somebody else. They're taking care of everybody now.
There are some people, they go through these things alone. Some
It's
people.
scary.
Yeah, some people are fortunate to have family, some people are fortunate to have friends, others are not. Is there any word of encouragement or anything you might give to those that, say, hey, lean on your neighbors, or anything you
Yeah.
can say to them through this stuff?
Well, first off, there's people that come to our state and they've never gone through anything like this before. That's a scary time. But, if you look at our churches show up, like you said, if you have an issue at the state, the CFO's right here. The county commission's showing up, the mayors are showing up. I saw some of the mayors this morning, they're showing up. So people here, it's not an area where the people who get elected don't want to do their job. You have, elected officials at the state level, they're here. And so people show up here and they want to help and they're sincere about it. You guys want to talk about anything else at the county?
Sheriff, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I've been out here all week long, and you look at what your guys have done, and also the commissioners and the road and bridges. Just tell me a little bit about how far this community has already come since Tuesday morning.
It's amazing when I look at it. We've got such a great team with our county commissioners, our county emergency management, even our neighboring jurisdictions that, Panama City Beach, Panama City, that weren't as affected. They were right out here with us on day one. And the cleanup, the power restoration has just been amazing. One, we've got the experience and know what needs to be done, but we also have an amazing community. Like Senator Scott said, we've got churches and community organizations and national service organizations, your Red Cross that come out to help us. And when you ask the question about, those that may not have family here or that's their first time here, I think they will find out quickly here in Bay County that we're all family. We're all going to pitch in together and help get people back on the road to recovery. And it's when I see, what we've been able to accomplish in just a short period of time, it doesn't surprise me because that's just who we are.
I was up in Sunshine Drive, the neighborhood in Youngstown yesterday. That house to house was pretty torn apart, and I saw exactly what you're talking about, which is these neighbors were walking around helping each other. These church groups were walking around helping everybody there. I saw somebody, the pastor of North Star was there for 60 hours without leaving, was sleeping in his truck. So how does that speak to the inner fabric of our county and how everybody is willing to just step out there when people need help?
It perfectly describes what Bay County is all about. We've been through a lot together. When you look at, Hurricane Michael, tornadoes, spring break takeovers, wildfires, all of these things. It brings our team closer together. It brings us where we work so closely together. Everybody knows what our role is and are all working together along the same, for the same goal.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Mr. Petronas or Mr. Griffiths, you guys can either one step up and answer this. You guys are both from here and you represent these people at the state level. So you have to be feeling this in the heart outside of your position as a state representatives. So just talk to me a little bit about what went through your mind that day when you heard once again Bay County was in the line of severe.
So I got up that morning. I'd gotten a phone call at about 5 in the morning, and I was asked. I was already in Tallahassee. I said, "How's everything at home?" I said, "I don't know. Is everything okay at home?" They said, "Well, tornadoes just touched down on Grand Lagoon." So I called the office, and it was the opening day of session, and I haven't missed one in 18 years. And I got in the car and just started heading back to Panama City and talked to the sheriff immediately. Actually, the sheriff called me first, and just making sure we knew, what was going on the lay of the land. And once we got here, it was just like somebody kicked over an anthill. There was so much in resources, whether it be the linemen, our first responders, our firefighters, sheriff's department, mutual aid from other law enforcement agencies that were just covering the area, saving lives. So, you definitely, you see the best in humanity in times like this. You see a generosity of the community, but you also see just an effort of working on adrenaline. I know the sheriff hasn't slept well in the last week and a half because of what he's been going through. He cares, but you know, he's the epitome of a public servant. And he wants to, you know, on his watch, if somebody gets hurt, he takes it very personally. It's no different. I mean, I just don't want anybody taking advantage of when they get to the claims process. You know, it's very important to me that people get what they have paid for. You have paid for insurance. If you have damage, you need to make sure that peace of mind is there, and this is why we push and lean forward. This is why Griff files legislation to make sure the insurance companies do what they say they're going to do. Same time he's passing legislation to put the bad actors in jail who take advantage of you during the claims process. And it's the worst of humanity when you have somebody who wants to prey on somebody when they're in a vulnerable state. Those are the worst type of people on the face of the earth, in my opinion. So, I mean, it takes an effort. But, you know, just like the senator said, this isn't the first rodeo for Bay County. Griff was chair of the county commission during Hurricane Michael. He didn't get any sleep. Doug was working with the chamber at the same time with Hurricane Michael. So this is an experienced group. But you know what? I think we just really rather not reflect on that experience. But you know, it is what it is. Mother Nature loves paradise, and she's going to continue to throw lefts and rights from time to time. It's not if, it's when we're going to have another storm event like this, and that's why it's so important that you know, you don't get taken advantage of. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Don't let anybody get in between you and your insurance claim, because once you start to give your money to somebody else, I'm not going to be able to get it back for you. Chris?
So yeah, as Jimmy said, the session started Tuesday. Jimmy and I spoke early that morning. He was headed down. I listened to Speaker Renner give his opening remarks, and then I approached them and said, I have to go home. We have a problem, and I have to go home and check on my people. I will tell you, the first drive the sheriff took me across the bridge that morning, when you see the damage, it brings back horrible memories of Hurricane Michael. It is a sort of a PTSD reaction where the feelings you sense, no loss of life, so we're a very, very blessed community. But once again, we have been through this before. We have been through so much worse than this before that shortly after you digest and you recognize there's no loss of life, you recognize, okay, it's time to get out the brooms, the shovels, and everything else and go to work and get back to normal. And that's what we're doing. And I think you'll see that this community is, as the sheriff said, we're the strongest community in the state, if not the nation. We've done Hurricane Michael, we had COVID, we had wildfires, and now we've had a tornado. We're very experienced in problems, and we've all been through some sort of probably a trauma bond. As the sheriff said, we're all family because of what we've been through. And we'll continue to do that. We stand together, especially in times like this. And like I said, we'll continue to fight for the people of Bay County at all levels to make sure that we get what we need and we get what we deserve. So thank y'all.
Thank you. And then I guess my last question, whoever wants to step up and answer this, what would you say is the biggest takeaway when you look at who's standing up here of what you guys just went out there and did today?
I'll tell you, the biggest takeaway I think everybody should say in Bay County is you got a great team of people that cares about you. You know, the sheriff does an unbelievable job, and he shows up, he cares, but you can say every one of the individuals up here has gone through some of this in the past, especially with Michael. Michael's devastating this area, but everybody here is committed, and everybody here is accessible, and everybody in Bay County wants to make sure everybody's taken care of. This is a great community.
You guys have anything else?
No, thanks a lot.
No.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you. Good seeing you. I will. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Oh, wait, so you're lucky this could have been over here. Okay,
We
fine.
appreciate it.
Okay, you need anything?
Safe travels.
Griff, a lot different conversations between you and Senator Scott than the last time I was with you and Senator Scott.
No? Hard to do.
Charlie's coming down to you taking that. That's why
I go, well,
You good?
yeah, do you want a picture? Yeah, hang on.
The lady that gave me I was actually